Before we get into the video, I want to give a disclaimer that I am going to be showing graphic images. So if you cannot stomach seeing graphic images, this might not be the video for you. Hey lovers, it's the Intuitive Lover Girl back in your go-to space for all things spiritual, self-love, and leveling up into your divine feminine. I'm Jada, and today I'm going to be discussing something that is very personal and something that I struggle with on a daily basis. What I'm about to share, it's vulnerable and it's a little scary for me to open up about because it's not even something that I really talk about with my friends or my family. But the whole purpose of me starting this channel is so that I can share myself, love, light, encouragement, and my experiences with the world and those who need to hear it. Before I share this, I just want to say that I'm not looking to receive any pity or for anyone to feel bad for me. I don't feel bad for myself. I feel incredibly blessed for everything, including the thing I'm about to share with you. And I acknowledge that there are people who have way worse situations than me, who are struggling more than I am, who are in more pain than I am. So I'm not discrediting that or trying to just like shine light onto me. Really my intention is to just feel more comfortable being vulnerable on here because I know that there are people who are experiencing exactly what I'm going through, but it's very untalked about and unheard of. At times it can be uncomfortable and even embarrassing to share with others, but I know that if I open my voice, there will be someone who in some way will find some type of positivity or help through this video. So that's why I'm choosing to open up and share this with you all. I'm going to be following a guide, but for the most part, this video is going to be unscripted. With that being said, today's video is about the things that I have learned from having an inflammatory / autoimmune disease. This disorder that I have is called hidradenitis suppurativa. Hidradenitis suppurativa is a chronic skin condition featuring lumps, cysts, boils in places such as the armpits or groin that can be very painful, and they tend to enlarge, form tunnels, and they drain pus and blood. In my case, I get cysts on my face and cysts and boils on my groin that typically turn into ulcers, which are essentially open wounds that don't heal or take a really long time to heal. The skin lesions develop as a result of inflammation and sometimes infection of the sweat glands. As the condition gets worse, it can start to develop into 3 stages of severity. Hidradenitis suppurativa is not something that you can get from being unhygienic or an STI. It's not contagious. Hidradenitis suppurativa is formed when your body gets triggered by a stimulus that it finds to be harmful to the body. And most people who are affected by hidradenitis suppurativa are women, especially women of color. I think it's because of this that this condition is under-researched and there's not a lot of support out there for this disease. It's claimed that this disease is uncurable, but I refuse to accept that as an answer. Now that I have given you some background information about what this disease is, here's my story. I've been majorly affected by this disease for about 3 years now, which is when I first got the cyst on my face. But looking back, I've been affected by this since I was a teenager. I remember always getting lumps under my skin and my groin area, but I always assumed that it was ingrown hairs. It wasn't until 3 years ago that I had my first cyst in my groin that grew really, really large, and it had to be drained, and it's still on my body to this day. Every single year after that, I've gotten at least one more cyst, all of which are still on my body. The way I found out I had hidradenitis suppurativa was from the frustrations of going doctor to doctor for years, seeking answers for the cysts on my face and my groin. Each time having to either get them cut open with a surgical blade or really painful shots just to be told that I have acne, and if I take this antibiotic or topical ointment, it will go away to no prevail. So I started doing some research and comparing what was on my body versus pictures online. And after countless hours of researching, I came across hidradenitis suppurativa. Although my condition at the time looked very similar to the early stages of the disease, I was sure that I couldn't possibly be affected by it and that I had to have something else that was maybe similar to this, but not this. But a few days later, I went to the dermatologist and I had a white male doctor. He looked at my skin for not even 5 minutes and was like, "Oh, you just have a little hidradenitis suppurativa. This happens sometimes to women like you. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna start these pills for 6 months. After 6 months, we may go up on the dose, and then we can discuss surgery. Then he left and he went about his business. If I wouldn't have already done research prior to this appointment, I would have either missed my diagnosis or been left with confusion, because he left no room for me to ask questions, nor did he even try to explain to me what the condition involved. So that leads into the first thing that I learned from having this disease. And this is where I'm going to go off script, and I'm just going to speak from my heart. So it might be a little all over the place, but bear with me. So the first thing that I learned is that sometimes you have to be your own doctor. So like I said, when I initially went into that doctor's office, and he basically was like blowing it off saying, oh, you have a little bit of hidradenitis suppurativa, but not asking, like not telling me what it was or asking me if I had any questions, acknowledging my concerns about the condition, I would have been lost, probably still to this day. But because he didn't go into things outside of taking the antibiotics or the other pills that he was trying to prescribe me, I had to take it upon myself to find, like, how does this disease, what causes this disease, what are natural ways that I can treat this disease, because I personally am more holistic. I don't really like taking medicine and prescriptions, because I feel like that's just like putting a band-aid over it instead of getting to the root problem. And so I had to become my own doctor, and I found out that this disease is caused by inflammation, and inflammation is mostly caused by the food that you eat. So a lot of people with hidradenitis suppurativa, they have to do what's called an elimination diet, which is basically where you do a trial and error of eliminating certain foods from your diet and seeing what works and what doesn't. Also keeping a food journal where you write down every single day what food you're eating, and like the state of your skin when you wake up and when you go to sleep. And that's kind of how you have to figure out what is causing the inflammation in your body. So for me, one thing that I noticed causes inflammation is eating dairy. But of course, this is not something that the doctor is going to tell me. They basically just made it seem like it's acne, but I'm like, you don't really get acne in your groin area. And the cysts I have on my face, which I specifically didn't wear makeup so you can see, they're kind of like small, like now, but you can still see them, 1, 2, 3, and they're kind of forming a tunnel, which is when the like abscesses connect under the skin. So they start in 3 separate ways, but over time, as they continue to get inflamed and go down and get inflamed and go down, they start spreading and causing tunnels. All of this is stuff that I had to research on my own. No doctors have ever told me any of this. I had to research it because, one, I don't even think that this is taught in medical school. The doctors who do know about this is probably because, one, they take it upon themselves to do research outside of their practice, or they came in, or a client came in and they had to, figure out what was wrong with them, and then that's how they know. But this isn't really taught in medical school. And if you don't know, in medical school, they use white people as the example for everything. They don't study specifically what conditions look like in Black people or people of color. In fact, in textbooks, they say really like stereotypical and borderline racist things like Black people, they over exaggerate feeling pain, but really they're not capable of feeling pain. Or Jewish people, they're overly vocal about what they want, and they might cause a scene in order to get their way. Like, these are all things that they learn in medical school. If you don't believe me, you can do your own research on it. But it's really sad that that's the state that we live in now in this world. But again, like, at the end of the day, it's up to you to be your own doctor, because if you're not advocating for your health, if you're not doing the research to make yourself healthier, then really it's like no one will. And I personally don't want to be dependent on medication my whole life. I'd rather get to the root problem. But finding out that, dairy, bread, sugar, inflammatory oils such as vegetable oil, canola oil, peanut oil, all of those oils, they cause inflammation. So I had to really change my whole diet, and I noticed that, like, at first I was doing something called the Mediterranean diet, which is when you eat mostly fish and vegetables, and you can have dairy once a week, chicken or red meat once a week. So at first I was doing that, and I did start seeing progress, but I started noticing that, let's say I ate dairy or like bread or something more than once a week, like maybe twice a week or 3 times a week, I would notice that my skin would become more inflamed. So I'm getting to a point now where I'm realizing, like, my body, it doesn't know that I'm having my cheat day. It doesn't know that I am just rewarding myself for eating clean and taking my tinctures and all this stuff. And so that brings me to my second point, which is you have to be all in or all out of your recovery. Your body doesn't know that you're going on vacation and you're just trying to have fun, or you're going to your friend's birthday party and you just want to enjoy yourself. Your body is going to respond to the negative things that it doesn't like, no matter what the situation is, because it doesn't know. And your body thinks that it's trying to protect you in some way, but really it's not. But that's what your body thinks, and you have to support your body. But if you are like not being consistent, then you're not really going to have any progress, and you're not going to see the results that you want. Or you can be seeing progress, but the moment that you do something that's outside of your routine, it reverts back. Like, for example, I had been taking tinctures every single day. So I take moringa, chlorophyll, milk thistle, wormwood, elderberry, and apple cider. I take that every single day, as well as a ginger, turmeric, and elderberry immunity shot. I also take zinc, omega-3 oil, turmeric, and ginger pills every single night. So I take all of that every single day, in addition to eating mostly fish and vegetables. But I went on vacation 2 weeks ago, and I kind of was just enjoying myself. I was, eating the things that I know I shouldn't really be eating, because my boil in or the cyst that's in my groin, it basically went away. And so I was just like, I'm on vacation. I just want to enjoy myself. I've been working really hard on my diet, but I still didn't get in the pool. I didn't get in the hot tub. I didn't even get in the ocean because I didn't want to expose my skin to any like bacteria or anything. And yeah, it went away. And it literally was that week that had went away before my vacation. And a few days after I got back from vacation, it literally like inflamed all the way back up. Mind you, I had been spending 3 months to get it to go away. So because I went on vacation and I decided to eat against what I know I should be eating, all of that hard work just went back. So that was very hard for me, and that is what basically kind of led me to making this video, because I literally was like crying for an entire night, and I cried myself to sleep, and I woke up and I still was crying, because just imagine for 3 months spending every single day taking all of those tinctures, all those vitamins, completely uprooting and changing your diet, just for 3 days. Like, I was gone for 3 days eating whatever I wanted, and then all of that work for 3 months reverted back. So I just told myself it's not even worth it for me anymore to eat these things, because one, the food quality has gone downhill in America at restaurants, and two, like, I'm not gonna keep investing all of this energy and money into eating healthier foods, buying all these tinctures and vitamins, which are not cheap, by the way, just to blow it all for a moment of satisfaction. Like, it's not worth it. I have to commit to being all in on my recovery, or just not even commit at all. The next thing that I learned from having hidradenitis suppurativa is that healing can be lonely. So one way, I pretty much had to cut off a lot of my friends. I'm not even gonna say cut them off, because it's not like there was any beef or that I don't talk to them, I wouldn't hang out with them, but I had to distance myself from them, because one thing that I used to do a lot, which is speculated to impact hidradenitis suppurativa, is smoke. Like, like smoking weed. I used to be a pothead, smoking every single day, multiple times a day since I was like a teenager. So yeah, I researched that smoking cigarettes can lead to inflammation. And although I wasn't smoking cigarettes, I was like, maybe it's just smoking in general, so I just need to cut it out. But you know, all of my friends smoke. So I knew that if I were to continue hanging around them, I probably would be tempted to smoke. It's not like they're gonna be like, Jada, smoke this or you're not cool. But just being around it, being around the conversations about smoking, it would be enough to tempt me because I know how I am. If it's around me, I'm probably gonna be offered it, or I'm just gonna straight up ask to smoke. Like, I'm just gonna ask to hit it. So I just had to be like, you know, for my health, I can't be around people who are smoking. And so it's been really lonely because I haven't been hanging out with my friends because I don't want to be tempted to smoke. And also, drinking can also lead to inflammation. So even my friends who don't smoke drink, and you know, going out to clubs and bars all the time, I don't want to be in those environments where I'm going to be tempted to do something that I know is going to be harmful to my body. And even if they don't, like just going out to eating at unhealthy restaurants and stuff like that. So I just have to, like, you know, kind of be to myself for a while until I can like get my condition under control, because you know, I still need to figure out how to get rid of these cysts, you know, because not only do I not like the way that they look, but they're painful. Like anytime that I like right now touching them, they actually like don't really hurt that much today. But a lot of the times, like if I wash my face, it's painful, like rubbing on my face. And sometimes like if people lean in for a hug and they're just like really fast leaning in from a hug, like I might hit my face against their shoulder or their arm, and that hurts. And like sometimes like when I wake up, there'll be like dried up blood all on my face because it just decided to start like draining in the middle of the night. Or if I, like again with the hugging, if someone hugs me a little too hard, it might like make it start draining blood, and it's just really embarrassing and it's uncomfortable. And it's really important for me to get to the root of this because I didn't always have these on my face. Like I used to have clear skin, and so to me, if I have to not hang around people in order to avoid temptation, it's worth it. But it is lonely because I see my friends going out and doing things that I used to do with them, and I'm not really able to do that right now. So yeah, it's lonely. Also, I noticed that, you know, other people, like the people that do know about this condition, like they don't just ask me, you know, like how is that going, or how is this impacting you, because it really impacts me mentally. Like my mental health is affected by this because I feel like a little bit insecure about it. Not a little bit, a lot of insecurity about it, because I take a lot of pride in the way that I look, and I don't feel like the most confident going out without makeup sometimes because I don't like the way that my skin looks. And I used to be someone who wouldn't wear makeup a lot, and now I feel like I want to wear makeup every single day because I want to cover my skin. And also, like, you know, the cyst in my groin area, like I am, you know, I don't want the person that I am with to see that. And so I'm constantly like covering it up. And I just feel like I don't want to expose myself to him because I just feel like disgusting, I guess. And so like no one asks me like how are you dealing with this? How are you coping with this? Like, do you want to talk about it? Because people are just like, oh, it's just a cyst, like it's just cyst on your face, like it's not that big of a deal, you can cover it up with makeup. And also, you know, there are people in my life who are suffering from way worse conditions. Like, you know, my mom, she's recovering from breast cancer. My grandpa just passed away from Alzheimer's. Like he was sick for 5 years. So I really feel like I don't really have any right to like complain or just like talk about how hard this condition is for me, because to me it's like I see the people that I'm around suffering, like actually suffering way more than I am. So it's like I'm not finna like take that away from them. I'm not finna like make it seem like my thing is just like really bad, because truly it could be worse. Like there are people who have immune disorders that are like actually life threatening, and that cause them to be in severe pain every single day, or that like debilitates them. So it's just like I just deal with it by myself. I know that if I went to these people to talk about it, like obviously they're not going to make me feel bad or shut me down, but I just like don't feel right doing it, and also like it's like embarrassing and awkward for me to talk about. So I just deal with it on my own. But you know, through all this, I have realized that your trials are a part of your life's mission. And it's funny because like I was thinking this, like yesterday was Sunday, and I decided to go to church for the first time in years. And before I went to church, I woke up early to go take a walk, and I was thinking about, like, at first I was just like crying and like just saying how like tired I am and how I feel like all the hard work that I've put in for the past few months just completely went away because my cyst and my groin came back. And I basically wear band-aids every single day in that area because like I have to keep it dry, I have to keep bacteria away from it, but also I put topical zinc and tea tree oil, so I want to like make sure that it stays on there. But since the cyst went away, like I was like, okay, I'm just gonna continue wearing this band-aid for the rest of the week, and then starting next week I'm gonna stop wearing band-aids. And I was like super excited because like, you know, I was like, I don't have to do this routine anymore of like cleaning it multiple times a day, putting the zinc and the tea tree oil, and wearing the band-aids, and wearing special underwear and special clothes so that it's not rubbing against it. Like I can just live my life freely. And also I was excited, you know, to show my partner that it went away, and like now I don't know, like he can just see me fully, I guess. But yeah, it was like, damn, all of that hard work went away. So I just was barely beating myself up about it. But then I just told myself, no, like I need to think about the things that I have to be grateful for. And you know, remember that God is always blessing me, always. Even with this, like it's a blessing because I asked to be a healthier person. I asked to be on like a like kind of be vegan, and this is basically like low-key leading me to veganism. I asked for help with, you know, being more conscious about my health, and so this is basically a way that God is like forcing me to do those things because I want it to be that way naturally, but I never really had a reason to, because I work out all the time. For the most part, I am pretty like conscious about my health. I look great, I feel great. You know, everyone around me is like, man, I wish I had your body and all this stuff. So there was never a lot of pressure for me to just like consistently eat healthy and like, you know, be conscious about the things that I'm eating every single day all the time. But this is a way that God is like, no, you want to be healthy, I also want you to be healthy, so I'm putting this in your life so that you can be. And so I was just like walking, and I started thinking about this video, and I was thinking like, you know, this is a part of my mission. Like being healthy is a part of my mission, and I just feel like I want to do really big things in this life, but I also feel like I'm supposed to be a beacon of light and encouragement to the world, honestly, like not just the people around me, but the world, because I want to be a world traveler, and I want to stay in places for long periods of time and see how other cultures impact me, but also impact the other cultures that I come across. And so I can't do any of that if I am not at my peak health. And I'm not gonna lie, you know, cutting out dairy, cutting out the fried food, cutting out sugar, taking all of these tinctures, which are actually very nutritious for your body, it has made me feel really, really good. And like outside of the cysts, like my skin is actually really clear and smooth and vibrant. And it's like I can tell that it is really good for me doing this, but it's just challenging because I'm a foodie. I'm not materialistic at all. I like to eat. Like I like experiences that revolve around eating. Like that's what brings me happiness. And also with me wanting to be a world traveler, like one of the main reasons why I want to travel the world is because I want to try the foods of the world. So it's really hard and like sad to me that I feel like I can't enjoy food in the same way that I used to. But I'm like, maybe this is a way that I can find new ways of enjoying food, and also share with others like, hey, you know, food doesn't have to Like, good food doesn't have to look like this. Good food can actually look like this and be so much more healthier and beneficial for you. And it's crazy because when I went to church, when I pulled into the parking lot, I saw the angel numbers 5959, and I looked that up, and it said that it means that it's transformation through like having ups and downs. And then the message in church was transforming through trials. So it just showed me that, you know, God is here with me. God loves me. God isn't doing this to me. He's doing this for me. God wants me to be my best, which is why sometimes I have to go through challenges so that I can better myself, so that I can be better all around. And I never asked, like, well, I'm not gonna say I never asked why me, but recently I haven't asked why me, because I know why. Because I'm supposed to be the person here to break generational curses. I'm supposed to be the one here to help other people live a better, more fulfilling life. And I have to be leading by example in order to do those things. I have to be, you know, well versed in these things in order to be able to share those experiences and help others in their journeys. Everything happens for a reason, and also everything is connected. Like, every single thing is connected. What I eat is literally connected to my life mission here on this earth. That's just how I have to think about it. And, you know, I encourage you all to think about your trials in the same way as well. The Bible like book that we were reading yesterday was the Philippians. I think it was the verses like 13 through 27 or something like that. I forgot. But I maybe suggest reading that from the Bible. Again, I'm spiritual. I don't really consider myself to be a Christian, but I do believe that reading the Bible and going to church, those are things that you can learn from those things. Even if you aren't necessarily Christian, you can still learn from the Bible, because the Bible isn't like a Christian. It's not Christian. The Bible isn't Christian. The Bible is just the word of God. And also going to church, yes, I did go to a Christian church, but it is helping me get more into the word of God. It's helping me understand the Bible and what God is trying to convey to us. I take what resonates with me, and I leave what doesn't, and it helps me, you know, just tap more into my spirituality, because I feel like there are so many tools that you can use to like strengthen your connection to spirit. So I want to take advantage of all of them. So I encourage you guys to do the same as well. And through that, you will discover that everything is connected. Even the worst things that you go through in life is really setting you up for the life that you want to live. And like reading the Bible, it really will show you that, because a lot of the people in the Bible suffered a lot, but they always, like, for the most part, they always like got to where they were trying to go, and then some. Like, they got way further than where they were trying to go, because they were remaining faithful and following God and not the world. Which was another thing I wanted to say, is that like I was thinking this on my walk before church, is that I cannot be living in my flesh and being worldly when I want to like walk on this spiritual journey and reach my enlightenment and like become super conscious. Like, I can't be living in my flesh and following the world. And then also when I went to church, the pastor said that do not follow the behaviors of the world, instead transform through the development of your mind. And it's just so crazy, because everything is connected, and it just shows that everything you go through is really like for your betterment, and it's to get you further ahead. So I'm gonna stop yapping now, but those are just some of the things I've learned from having an inflammatory / immune disease. And I really like send prayers to people who are experiencing similar situations, or, you know, worse situations, whatever, really, because I know everybody is going through something, and a lot of us don't talk about it. But just know that you're not alone and there is help out there, but sometimes you have to take it upon yourself to get the help, because you know, if you don't, like, no one is going to do that for you. Like, no one is going to hold your hand and go down this journey with you, so it's up to you to do it. But know that you're not alone. Everybody's going through their own things, and so, you know, seek out the resources that can make you feel supported, like going on Facebook groups, searching for things on YouTube. Like, that really helps me feel not alone. That really helps me feel connected to people who are going through similar situations. And also, you can comment or send me a message on Instagram. My Instagram is the Intuitive Lover Girl. And I'll talk to you, like, I'll talk to you, you know, like, about whatever I want to talk to you guys. I want to connect with you guys. And yeah, so I hope that you enjoyed this video and were able to get something from it. I really appreciate you guys, like, listening to my videos and watching all the way through. Honestly, like, having this YouTube channel is really healing for me, because like, I've always felt like I should make YouTube videos since like YouTube first came out, and it was really cringy. But you know, I wasn't able to when I was younger because like my mom was afraid of predators and stuff. So now that I'm an adult, I'm trying to like get over my fear of being seen, I guess you could say. And so showing up every single week for you guys is more beneficial to me than anything, because I feel like it's like bringing me closer into alignment with who I am and what I'm supposed to be doing. So I am really grateful for the people who do watch my videos, and comment and like them. Like, it really means a lot to me. So with that being said, it's the Intuitive Lover Girl. I will be back with another video next week. Thank you so much for watching. If you know someone who might be impacted by this video, like this video could help them, please share it to them, because that's what I want to do. Like, I want to help people with their life. So yeah. Okay. Thank you for watching. I'll see you later.